gang members charged in a string of violence that left one person dead.
People waving around guns on an abandoned lot.
Gang rivalries, easy to get guns, live streaming, and drill rap are turning out to be a potentially deadly mix.
Although hip-hop is known for its violence, that always wasn't the case. Hip-hop originated in the South Bronx in the late 1970s, at a time where black communities faced economic struggle. DJ Kool Herc, or better known as the godfather of hip-hop, he was known for his legendary parties, giving birth to the foundation of hip-hop, which provided a platform for communities to express their struggles and aspirations through music. But then that asks the question, when did hip-hop turn violent?
You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
In the late 80s and early 90s, the gangster era of rap was introduced from artists like LL Cool J, Tupac, NWA, Big Daddy Kane. But the question is, what made this era of rap violent, especially compared to the 70s?
The drug's so powerful it will empty the money from your pockets, make you sell the watch off your wrist, the clothes off your back.
Or kill your mother. Yep, that's what we're saying.
In 1971, U.S. President Richard Nixon declared drug abuse to be
public enemy number one,
thus creating the War on Drugs, which was a government-led operation which targeted black people. It's important to recognize that the War on Drugs had a complex impact on gang violence during this period. While it aimed to address drug-related issues, its emphasis on law enforcement and incarceration inadvertently contributed to the rise in gang activity and violence. Hip-hop artists played a crucial role in raising awareness about these issues and advocating for more holistic approaches to tackle drug abuse and its associated violence.
Fuck the police coming straight from the underground. A young nigga got it bad cause I'm brown.
Yeah. Because of this, the media often portrayed urban communities and hip-hop culture through a lens of stereotypes and misconceptions. And although the gangster era of rap had its fair share of negative impact, often what they talked about was just a reflection of their environment. Through music, they exposed the systematic issues around America. For example, Tupac's hit song, Changes.
Wake up in the morning and I ask myself, is life worth living? Should I blast myself? I'm tired of being poor and even worse, I'm black. My stomach hurts, so I'm looking for a person snatch.
As hip-hop entered the new millennium, it became a global phenomenon. Hip-hop is now bigger than ever, reaching diverse audiences. Mainstream success brought both positive and negative aspects, with some artists glorifying violence for commercial gain. Although the political climate has calmed down since the 90s, the promotion of violence is as rampant as ever. From artist beefs such as Young Jeezy and Gucci Mane, their problems stemming from a continuous dispute over the ownership rights to the track Icy. While it may not achieve mainstream charting success, it garnered significant attention within the hip-hop community. And although the song did help both collaborators' notoriety, there were disagreements over who owned the rights to the song and who should profit from it. Because of this, in 2005, their feud took a dark turn when a group of men attempted to rob Gucci Mane at his home, resulting in a physical altercation that left one of the assailants dead.
Even with the murder, even though it was self-defense, do you ever think about that? Do you think like maybe I could have handled that different, especially when you did like the diss record?
He needed to be in the ground. I put his ass where he supposed to be. He tried me.
That's the old Gucci still there.
Nah, that's the truth, man.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody comes to you, try to kill you,
Yeah.
you know, and self-defense. So if somebody try to kill you, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do.
What you gotta do, absolutely.
However, rumors circulated that the incident was somehow connected to the ongoing beef between him and Young Jeezy. And as a result, Gucci Mane released the track Round 1 in 2005, which addressed Young Jeezy and his camp directly. In the song, Gucci Mane directly calls out Young Jeezy, accusing him of various things, including being fake, disloyal, and not being true to his roots. Gucci also brags about his own success and street credibility, contrasting it with what he sees as Jeezy's shortcomings. As a rebuttal, Jeezy fired back at Gucci Mane in a track titled Stay Strapped, addressing the allegations and insults thrown his way. The track issues itself a warning about the consequences of his actions, alluding to the shooting that happened in 2005. Even over the years, they would throw brag, jabs, and disses at each other. And in 2023, after a 20-year rivalry, Triller held a versus which featured Young Jeezy and Gucci Mane. And even after all that time, it was as disrespectful as ever.
Think the nigga just mad cause I fucked this ex. And I'm a big dog, he got the little boy complex. Go dig your partner up, nigga, I bet he can't say shit. And if you're looking for...
And although the feud between the two caused senseless violence and lives lost, this is nothing compared to Chicago in 2013.
These bitches lost souls, oh, and I know it. Fucking with them old boys, you gon' get fucked up.
Becoming dubbed the murder capital of the US in 2012, Chicago experienced a high number of homicides in 2013, continuing a trend that has persisted for several years. With the introduction of drill music, dissing people's deceased family members created shock value to the music scene. And although from a moral standpoint it could be seen as wrong, that reason alone is why people tuned in. Some of the top music moguls at that time being Lil Durk, Chief Keef, and many, many more. But the main question being, where did the violence arise from? Well, Chicago has a long history with gangs, with some dating back 1950s and 60s. Gang culture became entrenched in certain communities, offering a sense of identity, protection, and belonging to young people who felt neglected by mainstream society. Oftentimes, brutality becoming the result from gang politics.
Almost all of the violence we're seeing now is from the gangs.
Sergeant Matt Little leads one of the teams in Chicago's gang enforcement unit. There are about 200 such officers in the city versus 100,000 gang members.
When there's a shooting, we'll respond to the shooting. We'll figure out where we believe the most likely area for retaliation is, and we'll work that area trying to both prevent retaliation and possibly build a case on offenders.
Although it's easy to blame the intent behind the music, I believe that the environment around these young men fueled the music or product being made. Oftentimes, brutality becoming the result from gang politics. A notable major affair deriving from the gangster disciples and the black disciples. Dissing the dead, often sparking a deadly back and forth. A notorious beef being between FBG and OTF, often reciting people who are now deceased, speaking about them in a negative manner. Often, especially young people, throwing their lives away due to the mocking of their deceased loved ones. However, many artists from this era continue to use their platforms to address social issues. And although it was appreciated by an older demographic, the disrespect between Chicago drill artists created a shock value that we weren't used to seeing as listeners. But this paled in comparison to the New York drill scene. Although Chicago's drill mentioned the dead, it would be in a more subtle manner and would not be the main topic of discussion in the music. It seems as if most of the recent New York scene would blatantly disrespect rival neighborhoods with no other goal musically. It's even gotten to the point to where the mayor of the Bronx wanted to ban New York drill music.
Mayor Adams met with a group of drill rap artists last night. He's criticized the music genre for contributing to the rising violence in the city.
But as CBS 2's Andrea Klein-Thomas explains, the mayor and the rappers were able to come to an agreement.
It's been a lot of talk about drill rap, drill music, New York City, connecting violence with the culture.
Late Tuesday evening, drill rappers met with Mayor Eric Adams, who's been critical of their music, saying it's causing a spike in violence.
Some of the most violent neighborhoods range from the Bronx, such as Cortlandt Ave, Highbridge, and many other New York boroughs, with kids as young as 13 years old ending up dying as a result of the influence of music, as well as social media, egging on rival gang members with disrespectful lyrics and diss tracks.
Just watch how we spin like a fidget. Every catch I be going like that midget. So jelly fall back. Just watch how we spin like a fidget. Every catch I be going like that midget. So jelly fall back. I'm a clip.
We are castaways. We're stuck where we are.
Natty bopping, punching my hips.
Talking disrespectfully about gang members who are either deceased or in prison, gained popularity and kept the viewers interested. Shock value, however, can only hold your attention for so long, resulting in fewer New York artists getting signed by major labels, due to the biggest ones either ending up in jail or deceased, leading up to the music scene of today's time, with rappers that consist of real crash outs or people just trying to play a facade. In this day and age, fitting into the street rapper demographic and promoting negativity makes it become more profitable to major labels. And although some can eventually be seen through, we sometimes find out later that was all a ploy, using gang cosigns to uplift one's music career.
Left crip, you know what I'm saying? The slimiest crip you ever met, you know what I'm saying?
It's that Treyway shit, man. Blood walk. It's that real bloody shit, Treyway shit, man.
Although I brought up different eras of music, each of them have one thing in common. Music is a reflection of what's happening to the artists around them. Although there's a lot of positive influences in this genre of music, the shock value of disrespecting one another is what sells. So, is violence the answer?